Sure, Philadelphia was cool and all, but Elon had his mindset on somewhere else, a location where he thought he would really thrive.
I thought, okay, I really want to work on new technology, so I want to get to Silicon Valley. When I was growing up, Silicon Valley seemed like some sort of mythical place.
Silicon Valley, the place where it was all happening. The holy promised land for any entrepreneur looking to take a deep dive into the world of tech. In 1995, Elon Musk made the move to Silicon Valley to begin working on energy storage technologies for electric cars.
The reason I came out to Stanford was actually to work on energy storage technologies for electric cars.
After moving to Silicon Valley with a car, computer, and $2,000, Elon thought his best path would be to apply for traditional tech employment. But there was an issue with that, mainly owing to his location. Silicon Valley was full of thousands of tech guys, all of which competing for a small amount of jobs.
At first I tried to get a job at Netscape because that was the only internet company, and they didn't respond to me. So then I was like, okay, if I can't get a job at the only internet company, then I better try starting something.
And that was that. Elon Musk went with the old, if you can't get a job, create your own job.
Well, what are the things that are most likely to affect the future of humanity, just in, at a macro level? And it just seemed like it would be like the internet and sustainable energy, making life multiplanetary, and then genetics and AI.
After Elon's arrival in Silicon Valley, Elon Musk began to critically think about the areas in tech that would likely affect the future of humanity. And while genetics, AI, and making life multiplanetary were probably out of Elon Musk's 24-year-old hands, one area of tech that he thought he might be able to make an impact on was an area that at the time was barely even an area of tech. It wasn't monetizable and it was far from being a big industry, but would later become one of the most important pieces of daily human life. After having experience writing and selling gaming software as a teenager, Elon had the general knowledge required to begin writing internet software. Elon Musk began writing software with the goal of, quote, making useful things happen on the internet.
Trying to make useful things happen on the internet.
Possibly hinting that he had no real idea of what he was trying to create in the beginning. However, this would change when Elon Musk would create his first piece of saleable internet software, described as a software allowing media companies to convert their paper and print content into digital content.
So we thought, well, the media industry would need help converting its content from a print media to electronic.
This software was the basis for Elon Musk's first company, Zip2, which was created with his brother Kimball. Now, starting a tech company would be exciting for any 24-year-old. However, as stated by Elon himself, he would have no idea how difficult the first company would end up being.
There's a friend of mine who's got a great saying about creating a company, which is trying to build a company and have it succeed is like eating glass and staring into the abyss.
Having moved from South Africa and still having $100,000 worth of college debt, Elon Musk was so poor that he was unable to afford both a home and an office for his company Zip2. So what were his options here? He couldn't rent both at the same time. It was either an office or an apartment. And since offices were cheaper than homes, he rented an office space and simply slept on the couch while showering at a local gym.
I didn't have any money. In fact, I had negative money. I had huge student debts. So, in fact, I couldn't afford a place to stay and an office. So I rented an office instead, because I got a cheaper office than I could get a place to stay, and then I just sort of slept on the futon.
This whole scenario might be what Elon Musk later described as the reality kicking in after starting a company.
I mean, what tends to happen is it's sort of quite exciting for the first several months of starting a company. And then reality sets in, things don't go as well as planned, customers aren't signing up, the technology or the product isn't working as well as you thought.
So for anyone who thinks that Elon might have had somewhat of a head start or smooth sailing in the beginning, it seems as though the reality was almost the opposite. After starting this first company, Elon, alongside his brother, a friend of his mum's, and 3 salespeople paid on contingency, began to market the product to various news outlets, achieving small flashes of success here and there.
We started getting some interest. I mean, half the time we'd be like, what's the internet? Even in Silicon Valley. But then occasionally somebody would bite and we'd get a little bit of money from them.
The company then grew and struck deals with bigger clients such as the New York Times. As the income grew, so did the overall value of the company. And after 4 years of running the company, Elon and his brother Kimball would finally reach that golden point that most tech startups could only dream of in the beginning, the acquisition of the business from a bigger company.